this Gannon thing blows open the latter part of January. Sometime shortly after that, Hunter Thompson supposedly commits suicide. And, of course, Noreen mentions a guy named Paul Bishop that was arrested in the D.C. area for manufacturing child pornography. And then Gannon comes back after he disappears for a while, and the first article that he posts on his website is Fear and Loathing in the Media. What's your take on Hunter Thompson's suicide?
I don't think it was suicide.
Why do you think he would have been murdered? Does it have something to do with this? I
believe it does.
In what way?
It would be the snuff films. There's a very good chance that he's holding it over somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody just decided that it's easier to get rid of him than to give in. I was on a private jet that landed outside of Las Vegas.
Nothing out there but military installations.
Yeah, it's called Area 51.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we landed out there. There was a group of people came. There were a couple Arabic, and they just shuttled the kids off the plane.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't quite coherent. I'm sure they'd been drugged.
Yeah.
And they basically went out and brokered these kids.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever, in your experience, been to the Bohemian Grove?
Yes.
What goes on there?
Well, everybody thinks your laws and that are made in Washington, D.C. Sorry to inform you, but most of them are done in Bohemian Grove.
Would it be fair to say that a lot of the clientele have connections to Bohemian Grove?
Yes, that would be very true.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very elite group of people. It's a very private place. They have their own security, and they are very good about keeping it secure.
Mm-hmm.
This is a place where some of the satanic things go on.
Parts of this have never been made public. And, Rusty, I want to thank you again for coming on the program and telling your story.
Well, thank you.
It's quite an incredible story. And, of course, it does corroborate a lot of what people are hearing about, some of this stuff. A lot of people think that when Larry King was arrested and put in jail, this whole thing was over. But I don't think so.
No. Larry was just the broker. They have ways of doing things that are just incredible. People would never, ever even imagine the way they can do away with people.
Yeah.
And make it look totally accidental.
Yeah.
And this comes from your military buildup. A lot of these things that they're doing
mm-hmm.
are basically straight out of Hitler. When they went into Germany
mm-hmm.
and they'd confiscate the records where they were doing these experiments when Hitler had it, they're doing the exact same thing now.
Right out of the book, almost.
They're just following in their footsteps.
Yeah. Noreen, when she came on the program, she inferred that there was a place in Colorado here where I am that they had safe houses where they took these kids to. Have you ever heard anything about Colorado, and can you tell me where in Colorado some of these places might be?
I can't tell you exactly where. I do still have notes and pictures that are still available.
Mm-hmm.
They are in a very safe place,
yeah.
or actually places. There are 3 of us who know about it. One of them I trust completely. The other one I'm starting to wonder about, but I do not feel safe in getting them.
Is this international, or is this just something that's locally restricted to Nebraska or the United States?
It's definitely not Nebraska, and it goes well beyond just the United States. It was basically white slave trade, where the people would come over and bid on people.
Mm-hmm.
There were some of them that I had heard went to Saudi Arabia and some of the Arabic countries over there. I've tried to keep away from politics, and that since this happened, the less I know, the better.
Right.
I knew of a couple dozen.
Couple dozen.
Yeah.
Okay. And, of course, it would be fair to say, too, that these are people that are maybe in key positions of the government.
Oh, yes. Very key positions.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking congressmen, senators, and above.
Yeah.
People who have money and wealth and power look at things in a different light than the normal person does.
Mm-hmm.
They're never quite satisfied with anything. It's always got to be bigger, better, faster, different, especially different.
Do you have any kind of feel for the involvement of this criminal enterprise with drugs, guns, any kind of terrorism?
Well, it helped fund the Iran-Contras. Personally, I strongly believe that the American government did 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
There's various facts in that are available now that show that this was directly linked to the Bushes.
Mm-hmm.
It was a way for them to get a building taken down. It was a way for him to create a war. Most people are spoon-fed by the media, so much so, and I'm sure you're well aware of this, that they have such a political slant on everything. You know, it's like these reporters that are embedded with the troops. Everything they do and say is censored before it is let out.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't swing the way that they want it to swing, it gets killed.
Did you know Troy Boner?
Yes, I did.
What happened to him? I understand he died.
He died.
You know why?
It was under very, very strange causes. He went to a mental hospital saying that there was people after him, and he was discredited. He ended up dying shortly after that.
I heard it was a drug overdose at a rehab center.
Yeah.
Do you think he was murdered?
I very strongly believe so.
Because he seemed like, you know, that Conspiracy of Silence video kind of circulates around the internet, and I've seen that. And, of course, you know, he was one of the major contributors to information in that video, and he sounded to me like he was really plugged into what was going on.
Did you know that that video was to have aired on Discovery Channel?
Right.
They had it in TV Guide and everything.
Right.
20 minutes before it was to air, the Bush family bought it off and killed it.
Really?
Yes. They've done everything you can think of to me. They've thrown me in prison. They've put me in solitary, the whole bit. And everybody who's associated with this seems to be dropping dead one way or another.
So how many people can you got a body count? How many people have died from this?
I think there's around a dozen.
Really?
Say that I have known, and a lot of these aren't publicized. One kid just happened to have got out in front of a cement truck.
Really?
You know, that just don't really happen.
No.
And the thing is, with this mind control bit, people don't understand it. They can just hear a tone or a certain word or phrase, and they will go turn into basically a totally different person. They can get them to do things that a normal person would never even consider.
Yeah.
People don't realize is how easily they can manipulate. They can get somebody to where they will drive a car up and have a bomb in it, or fly the plane into the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
I wake up every morning or go to bed every night wondering if the FBI or somebody's going to come kick my door in.
Yeah.
No matter where I go, they know right where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, Rusty, I want to thank you for coming on the air, telling your story.
Well, thank you.
And let's definitely stay in touch, okay?
Yeah, thanks, Michael.
All right, you take care.